Welcome to PBKC Streaming Live. Streaming Live. Streaming live in West Palm Beach, Florida.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. This is PBKC Live. You are watching the Moneymaker Tour main event, day 2. We are at 1111 North Congress Avenue in West Palm Beach, Florida, conveniently located across the street from Palm Beach International Airport. I am Josh Alderman. With me is Terrence Reed, TJ, as he prefers. So we'll be referring to him as TJ during the broadcast. We will be doing commentary, or well, I will be for a small portion of it, but TJ and another fellow, Mark, if you've seen the show before, you've seen him. He's helped us out last Friday, and we'll be back today to cover some of day 2.
Yeah, things are getting real. Things are getting serious. Not that many players left in the field. We currently have 43 players left as of coming back from this break. 33 players get paid. So we're approaching the bubble situation. A fun time to watch. Some people get more aggressive. The big stacks accumulate. Short stacks try to survive. We'll see who ends up on which side of that coin. But got a fun feature table. Here's your player positions. You might recognize that man right in the middle of your screen wearing the big fish hat. That's John Party, ACR Team Pro.
Well, we're not on them yet. They're still seeing us for now.
Well, soon you will.
You will see
John
him.
Party right in the middle of your screen.
We got a list of them, but I want to just go over real quick. We started the day. We brought back 20 from Thursday, 25 from Friday, and 32 from yesterday for a total of 77 players to restart. 50 of them are from Florida. 27 are out of state or not reporting. I think it's a pretty good number. It's about right, 75% roughly, something like that, of the field. Probably locals, from around here.
Sure, but at the same time, got a lot of people visiting, come down to support Chris Moneymaker, Tony Burns, so
absolutely.
Good mix of both. Locals, a lot of poker fans here, as evidenced by the cash room downstairs.
That's
just
right.
Popping today.
And also, there's a lot of ways to be from Florida, too. Florida's a big, long state. And being from somewhere in Florida doesn't mean you have anything in common with me necessarily in West Palm. We have several million-dollar winners in the tournament today. 17 of the 77 were million-dollar winners in lifetime earnings on Hidden Mob. Well, they're already playing, so I thought we'd have more time.
Well,
we'll go over the names real quick. We got Art in seat 1, Joseph in seat 2, Albert in seat 3, Jake in seat 4. As you said, John there. John Party is in seat 5. You may have seen him in a lot of different places and online. Matt is in seat 6. Carlin is in seat 7. We have Maxime. Is that Maxime? Yes, that's Maxime in seat 8.
Yep, Max, the Russian streamer.
That's right.
Who plays PLO mostly, but look at him showing his chops in the 2-card game.
He's got to hang around, yeah. And then we've got Matthew there in seat 9. Matt. We'll call him Matt. Screen says Matt. Well, I think I'll stick with Max too, since he must have told them Max.
Looks that way. We'll go with it. Trust production there, already hopping off with a monster. Matthew starts off with Pocket Kings from under the gun. We are at level, let's see, 15 here. Level 15, we've already played 4 levels today. Level 15, blinds of 3,000, 6,000, 6,000. Some deep stacks. Jake, one of the bigger stacks in the entire tournament with 556K involved with his hand with pocket 7s. Flops second pair to the queen on the board, but Matthew with the pocket kings. Oh, look at this.
Maxine raises. Wow.
This is par for the course. We saw Maxime, the Russian streamer who just put in the raise with those gangster glasses. He was playing very aggressive on day one. That's how he accumulated his stack that got him here, but this was ill-timed, likely not getting through the pocket kings from Matthew.
I don't know that there's any way pocket kings could just call.
No flush draw on board. Likely not afraid of too much, and if Maxime's willing to get it all in, you're usually beat. So he'll call, see a turn, but that one, Max knew it was coming.
Goodness. That is ridiculous.
Look at this. A lot of people in the chat are fans of Max. The Russians are back, or Russian fans anyway. And if you are a fan of Max, you love this turn card. He checked raise like he knew that 6 was coming. Made 2 pair. Matthew is now in big trouble.
Completely blindsided at this point. All right, I'm going to go straight to the table and take us out there.
If you're Matthew here, you're not really considering many 2 pairs. Of course, from the big blind, that 3 and 5 interacts well with his calling range pre-flop, but probably more concerned with 5-5 or 3-3 than the 5-6. But we'll see. Not willing to give up the overpair yet. Has some outs to give him the best hand. We'll see if it comes.
Wow.
That's not one of them.
This couldn't have gone any worse, I don't think, for Matthew there.
Yeah, this actually, when Max checked raises, he's representing sets or 2 pairs on the flop. When the 5 hits the river, actually makes it less likely for him to have those hands.
I see.
So even though it improves Max to a full house, Matthew is going to feel better about this run out, which is bad news for him. With only half pot behind, Max will likely look for all of it. And does. Now Matthew has to decide, are there any bluffs left in Max's range? 4-6 perhaps, one of the main ones that could be there. Flopped an open-ender and just barrel. But other than that, 3-5, 3-3, 5-5. We know 5-6. All of those have him beat. Is there any chance he's overvaluing a big queen?
As a follically challenged person myself, I have no response to Leo Kerr there.
Definitely thought you said something else. Challenged, but we're going to let that go.
Okay. Probably for the best, I guess.
Poor Matthew, welcome to the stream table. Pick up pocket kings. Have 80% equity on the flop, and now you're facing a decision for a large portion of your chips right off the bat. Wearing the run good shirt, couldn't have run worse in this hand, and now this run out threatens to reduce him to one of the shortest stacks in the room.
Yeah. For pre-flop, I thought he was going to go 4-bet.
Lex_com says hello to all fans of the young champion from Ruzeevka, Maxime. That's our man with all his chips in the middle holding a full house.
Yeah, he's looking pretty right now.
Cannot believe what fell.
He should find a way to make those glasses float up and down.
Tough spot for Matthew. Beats only bluffs at this point. Really hard to let the overpair go.
Yeah, but like you said, he was told on the flop that he was beat, that he had to set, he had, you know, 2 pair, something. So that pair may be.
I would imagine if he has been playing with Maxime.
He's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going. He's going to be blown away. Because he's 3-bet with that hand pre-flop. No, you're not out. Is he out? Oh my goodness, he is out.
Okay. Chip stack's incorrect. now,
Oh, no, that must have been Mac. Oh, wow.
either way, all the chips slide to Maxime. So
there
this
you go.
stack, likely one of the biggest in the entire tournament at this point. If we did have those interposed between Max and Maxime, either way, they all belong to Max now. Over 800,000. What it's like to have over 100 big blinds. This late in the tournament is great.
It's half buddy when you're going runner boat.
Shout out to all the Maxime fans in the house. Rozeevka represented.
Eyeballs Rick.
John Party, ACR Team Pro. There were 3 of them in the house tonight. Of course, Chris Moneymaker won himself, the man with his name on the tour out front. Talk to Chris. He met his kryptonite today.
He sure did. If you guys remember the horse tournament, our 100-year-old local legend, Gene, took Chris Moneymaker out, and we made a big fuss about that and everything. Well, it happened again, folks.
That's right. Chris Moneymaker no longer in the field of his own main event. He flopped top pair against the flopped nut flush of Gene Calden. Chris Moneymaker led out with an all-in bet on the flop, and what did Gene say?
Gene looked at him and said, you shouldn't have done that.
And tossed in a chip. So Moneymaker no longer in the field. Ryan DePaulo, who was on our feature table yesterday, also eliminated. So John Party represents ACR here on our feature table. One of the 43 players, well, 42 players now, according to that recent elimination left in the field. So we creep steadily towards the bubble. 33 players will get paid from this field.
10s versus 9s. They avoid any of that drama from the hand before that. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this is PBKC, Palm Beach Kennel Club, 1111 North Congress Avenue in West Palm Beach, Florida. We are directly across the street from Palm Beach International Airport, so take a flight, take a cab, Uber, walk across the street, and come play poker. We also have a doggy daycare, so if you bring your furry friend with you.
This I did not know.
That's right.
Doggy daycare at the Kennel Club, appropriate.
And overnight boarding. So we have we didn't just take those kennels and do nothing with them.
Yeah. Way to go to keep this place, after the rules come out that you can no longer race at the Kennel Club, options were shut it down or find a new way to make this place work. And
that's right.
Option B was better. We got doggy daycares, we got restaurants, you can still bet on the ponies here, and then plenty of poker and table games inside to be played.
We're big time building services for the community. Rooney family, they're very big into charities. We have multiple charities throughout the year. It's just charity events here. We have tons of charity events.
That's why I folded,
tournaments.
because I knew with the Turn the River was coming.
But they have a 5K run, 2 golf tournaments. They do a ton of stuff. So the doggy daycare seemed like a public good.
Yeah, I saw a dog. Oh, look at this. Let me stop talking about puppies.
Yeah, just the nuts.
Matt chooses to call with the suited king-6 in the hijack after Jake opens from early position. That'd be a little light, but what do I know? Flopping the nut flush, he has no hesitation or regrets about getting involved in this pot. We don't know what Joseph has from the big blind. Jake likely not too concerned about him. Flopping a second pair on the ace-high board will continue with the c-bet, as he does with a large portion of his range, and it is small on the monotone flop. Matt will call with the nut flush, likely to keep his hand strength hidden and hoping to get Joseph involved in the pot as well.
Coming, yeah.
And look at it, it works to perfection. We don't know Joseph's hand, but right now Matt is licking his chops, hoping he has overflushed the man in the big blind.
That's a unique spot in poker, holding the nuts, facing a re-raise.
And when we think about what Joseph could have in the big blind, not a lot of strong aces. So 2 pairs abound, ace-8, ace-7, 8-7. Perhaps a set, but less likely, and then flushes. So against all of those hands, Joseph not likely to slow down, and Matt knows this, laying the trap.
It's working. That's 75.
Now Matt's doing some quick math. If I call here, how much is left behind on the river? How do I get all the chips in? We know the answer to that is if he calls this one, there'll be 275 in the pot, and Joseph only has 220. So he might be able to hit the call button twice. Instead, goes aggressive. Now alarm bells going off in Joseph's head. Yeah.
And let him go.
Matt might regret choosing to go all in, but after the check raise and follow-up barrel, thinks his opponent must be strong and tries to get all the chips in now, but before maybe an action-killing hard falls on the river.
Huh? I didn't think you had hearts.
Well, we hear he says, I didn't think you had hearts, so maybe he was trying to get value from a set or 2 pairs, something.
Joseph said something. I wish I'd have heard it. I think he said he had a heart.
He did say that. I had a hearts. Well, that's why we might choose to just call there, keep those bluffs in, let Joseph hang himself in position. We can dictate if more chips go in if he happens to check to us on the river. Listen to this. Gialarossi says Max needs some beer.
All right.
Max might be focused on other things than alcohol right now. We're playing for
800K
a
in
lot of
chips.
money.
Yeah. He's got a ton of chips, too.
The bubble approaches. This is the favorite time in the tournament for a big stack.
Yeah.
As people try to get into
you
the
just
money,
mop up everything.
you can just fight for pots like there's no tomorrow.
Hey, Bex. How are you? Welcome.
What did you think you had?
It's Bex from England there. Or the UK, I should say. What fat fingers?
Yeah, I remember Bex. She's in there with her alter ego.
Max has a ton of support in the chat.
Florida
John.
Mountain Man's back, keeping that streak alive.
There we
4 in a
go.
row. Thank you for supporting us every day of the stream since we've been here for the Moneymaker Tour.
What's up, Mountain Man? We're glad to have you.
Now we have an exact city, Dorset,
There we go.
UK.
2200. 2208.
Is that temperature? I don't understand. It's definitely not on my clock.
Wait, it's 2023 here, man.
Yeah, living in the future. Blind versus blind battle, always interesting. Ranges are wide. Neither party believes the other when chips go in. In this case, 2 kings. Case 1 will not fall, but Albert does flop best with the open ender and the best hand, but out of position.
Yeah. That's 7K. Yeah.
See, this is the case where you just don't believe a player when you're in a blind versus blind battle. And Jake with position. Might call once, see if Albert slows down, and then try to take this pot away. At least when you float the flop like this without much going on, you have to have a plan. Hopefully that's what Jake is thinking about. But facing a second barrel, we'll have to get creative to win this one.
He's reaching for chips. Albert's bet 18,000.
A lot of times you make a move for your chips. You saw him take a glance at his opponent after he did so.
Yeah.
Trying to get a read. Had no intention of putting them in that motion, just getting a read on his opponent.
Oh, you put him 3. You don't.
The plot thickens, another call. Does Albert have it in him to fire the 3rd barrel? We know he doesn't need to.
Right.
Well, actually, the pot is split now on
It's
the pair
chopped
board.
right now, yeah.
So yeah, if he wants the pot all to himself, a bet is essential. But at this point, things are getting big.
I mean, it would have been hard.
Only 153K behind. He does go for the third barrel.
No, he doesn't have.
Yeah. You got to respect him.
I think all three options are on the table here for Jake. A fold perfectly reasonable facing 3 barrels. But king high, its value not to be understated. All the draws missed here.
Yeah.
Now, Albert likely doesn't have too many strong aces in his hand, given that he only limped pre-flop. So now he's thinking 9-10, most diamonds.
2 diamonds, exactly.
All of that miss, and I'm ahead of it. Look at it.
Yeah.
Puts the puzzle
Chop it
together.
up. Wow. It is 5-11 here. That is 17-11. We are +5 GMT to most of the UK.
This being the first card that flipped over, I really liked my chances.
Yeah.
Him expressing what we were just talking about.
That's
the 10
right.
of diamonds fills in all the flush draws, all the straight draws he was hoping his opponent had. In this case, the king 10, the one straight draw he cannot beat.
I deserve the extra chip. Can we acknowledge that at least?
Can we acknowledge that I deserve the extra chip at least?
The rest of
I
the
deserve
table.
it. I obviously relinquish it, but I definitely
Taking note of that call,
I
likely
definitely deserve it.
I thought he made a good effort.
making plans for the future when they play
That
him.
was a good effort too.
That he'll call light, but also a good thinking player who put that puzzle together and said the story just doesn't check out completely, even facing 3 barrels. So likely earned some respect from the table making that play. At least he did for me.
That was that was a great play. I'm with you there. I didn't think he would find the call.
Another monster. Carlin has queen, queen. Carlin can't like his seat now. A big stack and an aggressive player in Maxime. He will come along with his 6s. John Party, the first hand we've seen him involved in, looks down at the ace-10 suited in the big blind. Very pretty, defensible, and chooses to come along. We've got 3 and all very real hands.
Action flop.
Not so much. Max, though, holding 6s, blocks the nuts, has a spade. Carlin can't love this flop with the 2 queens, but still an overpair. If he held aces or kings, perhaps would think about checking more often, given that you don't have to protect it against too much. Queens will likely prefer a bet, and he agrees.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's got 718K in lifetime earnings out of Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Max just calls. This is
Ooh,
the
what a
action
card.
card of action cards, because
Wow.
Carlin hits top set, loves and hates that card because Max
Spade.
has a lot of flush draws in his range. But chooses to check, likely not checking to fold. We'll see if Max starts to turn his 6s into a bluff, or if he's happy to check and see a river. He chooses option B, and here we go. No, it gets more interesting.
That's something else. So John just let go of the ace-10.
Oh, goodness. Yes, he couldn't know.
He would have checked into the river if he'd have called the flop bet. Is that right?
I would think all 3 would have checked the turn as we just saw,
Yeah.
because there'd be even more flush draws available. I don't think either player would want it. Yeah, but the top set, action killing turn and river, even though he made top set. The jack just killed any hopes of more
Yeah.
chips going in the middle, unless Max wanted to turn his hand into a bluff. Chooses not to, thinking he can beat ace, king, ace-10, that sort of thing, and just checks behind, happy to take his showdown value, which does not earn him the pot that time.
Blaming us for keeping her up late. I said sorry at the time. We knew we were keeping you up late.
Sorry, what's easy? Did we say easy or did somebody else?
Too many barks.
It says easy. Well, the English word easy is often just written as the
Easy.
2 letters EZ. But I don't think that's what we're talking about. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, and we're glad you did. Thank you very much. We hope you you enjoy the show. I love to play this game. I love to comment and watch this game. I love to make sure this game is running properly. That's why I work in a poker room. Wow.
And that's why I spend a large portion of my life in a poker room, either working, now in the commentary booth, covering it. Oh my. Okay.
What is going on?
Flush over flush.
Art.
Collision incoming.
I want to
There's
send an SOS back in time.
very little hope for Art not to lose it all in this hand. Look at Matt just flopping the nuts again.
Yeah.
Well, not the nuts, second nuts,
Yeah,
but
he's close
flopping
enough.
another flush.
Over a flush. This time made.
Oh my.
Yeah. And Art, you know, he made so many of the good plays the other night. Let's just hope he can limit himself to minimum.
Pre-flop, it was Art raising and Matt just calling. So Art has to think to himself, what in the world's ace-king board better for me than for him? Are we in a flush over flush situation? And if so, am I willing to play for it all with the 10 high flush? Just calls. Keeps Matt's bluffs in if he has them. Ooh, okay. We keep seeing cards that try to kill the action on these giant pots, but I don't think either player is going to be too afraid. At least Art won't worry about too many full houses. Maybe ace deuce from Matt, but flush over flush, destined to get it all. Unless Art can pull a Houdini trick and get out of this one. Oh, it's Art leading out on the turn, and oh, I'm sorry, Art betting, taking the betting lead on the turn. Look at this again. I talk about action cards, action killing cards.
We were both nervous about a bunch there.
Wow.
Another diamond. It goes check, check. Oh my. Art has to be just thinking he's free rolling now.
Right. Matt doesn't know what we knew. That the queen was folded pre-flop.
Oh.
So he thought maybe Art was sticking around and then hit the queen. Maybe I don't know.
Well, Art just takes a sigh of relief, just flop flush over flush, and somehow didn't lose it all to a bigger stack.
That's that's huge.
I thought, like,
Beck's day's been good. It's kind of partly cloudy, but warm. Feels good here. People were sitting out by the pool, my hotel, as I headed to work today. Played some 2-5 for the first time today. Only played about an hour and a half or so. Just wanted to get a feel for the room.
It's a good crowd. What did you think?
I love that game, action game.
Yeah.
People wanted to see flops. I had a hard time making mini hands, but when I did, I got paid every time. It was fun.
Good deal. I think there must be a reason why they come in all the time, you know. Our manager likes to say we try to do things to keep them out of here. You know, like when we mess up here and there, we have, you know, maybe the air problem or something happening that the players are complaining about. Like, yeah, we try to keep you guys out of here, but you just keep coming back. I think we've ironed out most of our old kinks. This building was, I believe, built in 1938.
Oh, wow.
Might be older than that. I'm not sure.
Well, I think about as old as Chris Moneymaker then, appropriate for his tour. Okay, Jake opens up the Queen Jack suited from the cutoff. Very pretty hand, especially in late position. Carlin choosing to get aggressive from the big blind with the offsuit wheel ace. Puts in the 3-bet to 53,000. How does Jake choose to proceed? This is a large 3-bet. Just over 4x And Jake will continue. An interesting king-king-10, trips on the board. Jake flops an open-ender.
Open-ender.
Carlin with the betting lead, and he has bloated this pot up out of position. We'll see if he can navigate his way to taking it down. Next, I don't know what a suntan is. I go straight from white to burned. There's no in between.
The only Jake on the list is Jake Schwartz from New York with 4.2 million in lifetime poker tournament earnings.
Yeah, Schwartz is a crusher.
So that's who that guy is.
Yep.
That's why he's so smooth with it.
Not afraid to get in there, play a big pot, let the cards fall how they may. In this case, the open-ender. A small continuation bet from Carlin. And Jake wants to see a turn. Not one of the outs he was looking for. He doesn't know, but all of his pair outs are good too. So any ace, queen, jack, or 9 would give him the best hand. The 4, none of them. And does Carlin have it in him to bet again?
Nice and patient. He's taking his time.
Chooses 1/3 pot, 62 to continue. Likely would do the same with all of his kings. Wants to keep his opponent in there. It's interesting, the leveling war, because Jake is thinking, well, if he doesn't have a king, which is very unlikely when 2 of them flop, would he still bet hands like aces, queens, jacks? Or is this man bluffing me?
Or, yeah, semi-bluff.
Jake definitely, or Carlin definitely has a lot of kings in the range he's trying to represent. Ace, king, king, queen, king, jack even. Pocket kings, of course. 10-10, lots of strong hands there, but a lot of other hands in his range. We see the ace-3 representing that people get in the mix with in the big blind. You have to fight for pots.
He lets it go. That's yeah, hell of a play there.
Well done, Carlin. Identify the situation, late position open, take control of the pot, fire the 2 barrels needed, and wins a sizable pot from the man from Brooklyn in seat 4.
I could just imagine it going check, check, and the ace hitting on the river.
He's my right hand.
Oh, these guys know each other. He said, he's my ride home.
I see.
Plausible.
We better not knock him out then, I guess.
I think what I just heard was they're living together this summer for the WSOP.
Oh, very cool.
Jake travels, follows the WPT, WSOP, plays in Vegas most of the summer, so he's on the road a lot. You make friends in the industry, split rooms, make things a little cheaper for traveling expenses. In this case, they're going to have something to talk about later, that hand.
Yeah. Ace king, ace jack. Raise from Art, call from Albert. Ace jack from Max in the big blind. Carlin gets out of the way with king 8. Maxime.
If we've seen anything from Max, if the option to raise is on the table, he generally takes it, especially as the big stack. I don't really want to see a flop with this many people with a hand like ace jack. going 4 ways. Very hard to realize your equity from out of position. So he does choose to raise 44. Art, however, off a shortish stack, started his hand with around 30 big blinds, opening from under the gun.
Pushing them.
Strong range, strong hand, strong bet.
Now Ace Jack looks weak.
Shrinks up.
It sure does.
Look at Matt with the 9-6. What am I doing here?
Big lick.
No. Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. I apologize. 193.
That's Terry's old school.
I did my best.
I started dealing down here with him. Hey, man. I'm sneaking them in, man.
He said not even close.
You might have played with him. He's a regular 2-5 player. He's,
Very nice.
Yeah, real nice guy. Dr. Matt.
Cumulative winnings just represents what they've won since appearing on our stream here, which is the start of this level. So Max up top, he's had a great start. Of course, one of those early hands when he got it all with the 5-6 against the Pocket Kings. He made a full house and got all of it. So top of the leaderboard, top of the chip counts here at this table.
Raise 13,000.
Matt. Do you know which Matt that is?
That is not Matt Glantz.
No, Matt Z maybe. Zarkadulis?
We'll go with that.
Zarkadulis? Well, let me see if there's another one. There's Matthew Mason, but he has no winnings. And then Jagru. No, that's Michael.
These numbers are from Hendon Mob. They take live caches. Shout out to Kev Math from Hendon Mob, keeping those things running.
You know, I've been posting with that guy forever on 2+2. And I knew who he was.
Yeah.
You know, I knew he traveled. I followed him. We follow him on our Twitter account, you know.
Kev Math?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea he did the Hendon Mob.
Runs Hendon Mob, heavily involved with Poker Atlas. Also runs the WSOP Twitter account all summer for the World Series of Poker.
Yeah, very cool.
If there's anything he's great at, tracking poker results, he's the man to talk to. And if he ever retires from that job, someone is going to fill some very big shoes, or they're going to have to hire 7 people to do what he does.
Yeah, I agree. Because that's already a lot. Oh, it's cap. My bad. My bad, Matt. So if anybody knows, I think that's going to be Matt Zarkadulis from Fort Lauderdale with 1.2 million in lifetime earnings on Hendon Mob. Also, no slouch to the game. He's second in winnings on the table.
Set over set. Matt holding the ace of hearts has the nut flush
train
draw.
wreck. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
Set over set, obviously just destined to be a large pot. The ace of hearts complicates things slightly on the monotone board. We'll see how aggressive these players get.
17 straight out.
It's a good spot to be when you're holding the ace of hearts. You know nobody else can have the nut flush or the nut flush draw because you have it. But when you do face a lot of betting, you have to wonder what they have. So we'll see. Jake continuing flopping top set. Carlin with middle set.
He got, yeah, yes, we figured it out.
Wet is right. Matt Cap, very wet board. Carlin just calls. And surprising because there's so many bad cards on the turn when you hold a set. In this case, you know, manages not to lose more, but this is one of the bad cards. All 3 players don't like this card because an 8 is now a straight. Sets go down in value considerably.
That might be a saving grace for all 3.
We keep seeing these flops that are just destined for train wrecks, and then cards come on the turn that kill the action.
Yeah.
Matt takes control of the hand. He has a draw, not the draw that completed, but realizing that, you know, a bet may just take control of this pot and take it down.
Matt, you're throwing a white coat, and I will believe you're a doctor, sir.
If all three players manage to see a river, the Jack of Hearts would be the disaster
What a brutal card, yeah.
for everyone
Everybody.
except for Jake.
Yeah.
I think Jake is definitely going to make this call at least, because even if he is up against a flush or a straight, which he's not, a board pair would definitely lock this up for him. Pocket jacks, not even in his worry as far as other hands his opponents could have.
Incredible how much it matters that third player is in the hand.
No board pair.
And no heart.
Interesting here. Matt, holding the ace of hearts, knows nobody has the flush. Did not face any aggressive action from his two opponents when the straight came in. We'll see if he can try to take this away from the two flopped sets of his opponents. He's the only one that could credibly do so. If you're going to go for this, I like somewhere around half pot bet, maybe a little bigger, 102,000, let's say, if I have to guess.
About 100,000.
He agrees. 100K gets the job done a lot. Can't know his opponents both have sets, but at this point, both of them are just bluff cashers. Either Matt has it or he doesn't.
Yeah, somebody's almost got a call, right?
Well, Carlin worries about Jake behind him,
Yeah.
so leans towards the fold. Now Jake. Once the jack came in on the turn, Matt has bet twice, again into two opponents. Matt's praying for a fold here. Doesn't really know what he's up against, but unlikely to be a flush or a straight, so he's trying to get Jake to fold two pairs.
Stoic. Giving up nothing. I like that shirt, though. Who is that character? I don't know.
Can't really tell. Looks like some combination of the It Clown and Superman, which is a weird combo. Likely someone I've never heard of if it is a real character. But Jake
There's
in
a
the
scary
tank.
combination.
Yeah, you don't want to go up against
Never gonna
It
dream
Superman.
again. Yeah.
Jake Schwartz, very strong competent player. We saw him make a call with King High not long ago.
Yeah. I was impressed with that. This would be even more impressive.
Trying to work out the puzzle.
And Matt said it on the turn. I've got this hand. I've got an 8. I've got 2 hearts.
Yeah, Jake knows, even though, flop set, very strong hand, at this point, all he can beat is a bluff, because anything Matt's betting for value beats a set of 10s.
Lets him go.
Lets it go.
Wow. What a
Good
big play.
bet, Matt. Well done. Identified the situation. Knows that 2 barrels likely to get it done against anything but a flush or a straight. With that, Matt takes the chip lead at our table up to 734,000. Well, it looks like about 120 big blinds or so. And one of the biggest stacks in the room.
It's a big time play, man.
When you look back, when at the players who make deep runs, you think of hands like that, because that could have swayed the tournament either way for both of those players. And good on him for, doing what it took to win that pot.
That's right. It's playing the game.
Hey, cocktails on 67.
Players who lost that pot might need a drink, understandably.
Yeah.
Unless Maxime is taking the advice of the chat and grabbing himself a beverage. We'll see. Bex, are they playing for real money or just fun? I'm confused.
These chips they're no cash value tournament chips. So they all have a set amount of chips when they buy into the tournament. So yes, they are playing for money. The winner of this tournament, first place winner of this tournament, will get $132,000. So the chip stacks that they have in front of them, they all start with 50,000 in chips, and now these are the guys. These are the 41. Is it now 42?
Somewhere around there.
That are left out of all of that crowd, and they have all of those accumulated chips.
So yes, we play until one person collects all the chips. A total of 33 players will get paid from this tournament. So if you get eliminated right now, you go home with 0, which is not fun after playing for 15 hours or so thus far.
That's right. Geez, no, it's Josh, but I get that all the time.
Not beverages of the alcohol variety yet, just water bottles for now. Fiji it is. Anyone who has ever run a poker room, a concession stand knows that poker players go through Fiji bottles like they're nothing.
Build an addition to your house by investing in Fiji.
If the poker boom continues the way it's going, invest in Fiji stock because we alone
Safe bet.
will keep that company in business.
Oh, we might make money tonight. We're at 39 right now.
I think, yeah, I think it's almost
Raise
assured
13,000.
with this much play left.
And if we keep throwing up hands like that, set over flush draw.
And
Holy
somehow
cow.
no one is eliminated.
Right. Art there. Flush and flush.
You know, we keep trying.
Second and third not flush. Battle it out on the flop and just get bailed out by pair diamond.
Deuces versus the 10 jack. Oh, oh, look at these setup hands. What in the world is happening? Max flops bottom set against top pair from Art. Max can do no wrong. If you're a Max fan in the house from Ruzevka, Russia, you're loving life. Bottom set, 3 ducks in his hand.
What I could see from Max, and again, Maxime, this is Hendon Mob, so they got online winnings. I don't know if that counts.
Does not. This is only live tournament winnings.
Right, so that's 17K in live tournament winnings for Maxime. And Art's got around 368,000. He's a trooper. He's been around.
The trend continues of action killing turn cards, the over club and club runouts.
All right. So let me get a check on the end here.
Again, top pair versus bottom set and only 75,000 chip pot.
Yeah. Minimum value.
What can you do? Sometimes the cards just kill the action and you reevaluate on every street in this case. Club, no clubs in hand means that content to take the pot. Check.
Yeah, we've had potential for real train wrecks in this so far. And it seems like they're getting bailed out. Maybe everybody's got good karma, you know?
I guess so. We're seeing, you know, we could have lost multiple players with these setup hands, and somehow they avoid the complete disaster. Yes, Leo Kier, shout out. Come on, Max from Ruzevka, Russia. He is doing very well. He made a full house against Pocket Kings in our first orbit and got it all. So sitting with well over 100 big blinds, getting close to the money.
Raise 14,000.
Bex does ask, can you guys guess when someone is bluffing? Well, thankfully, us sitting here in the booth, we get to see the cards just like you guys. So not hard to guess. When we don't see the cards, well, based on my play, an hour and a half of 2-5 before, no, I cannot. No, we did okay. We got trapped a couple times. Players are trappy down there. They like to check and check and check.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of times it's like TJ's been saying this whole time. Yeah, there we go. if their stories don't make sense, you know, a lot of times players will bet forgetting how they've represented themselves in the hand up until that point. So if they suddenly start zigging instead of zagging the way they were, then that looks pretty clear. You know, no, we're talking about on the table now when we're playing. And yes, I play every now and then.
Yeah, it's about telling information.
Raise
Back in the day,
14,000.
Daniel Negreanu was on the Lex Friedman podcast recently talking about, in his day, people didn't put people on a range of hands. You said, I think you have pocket jacks, or
Right.
I think you have ace king. You put them on a specific hand, and you proceeded accordingly. Not so much in modern poker. We've developed, we've advanced to then we put people on a range of hands. We know they have this many bluffs, this many value hands, and betting gives you information. So they're telling a story, you're reading their story, whether you believe it or not. That's the question. Long way to say, I have no idea what I'm doing.
There have been several times, and I've been playing for years and years, and there have been several times walking out of the casino, I've walked to the car going, I just don't know how to play this game. I don't know what happened. I thought I was good.
Gianrossi says the whole of Russia supports Max.
That's a pretty bold statement. I'm not sure how big Rosievska is.
Well, we need to get the entirety of Russia in our chat.
Yeah, let's see that.
We'll use Google Translate if we have to. Spread the word.
25,000.
Full house for Matt. Betting big. Not big, actually. Just under half pot. Trying to get a crying call from a king for a worse full house. Maybe even a non-believing queen high. With trips on the board. Queen high is obviously just playing the board, so it doesn't really matter.
That's how good he
Calling for a
was.
chop is never fun if you're Jake, though.
Cold clock and just went out to shadow.
I think he's drawing this out. I think he's checking Matt out on this.
No, he looked great until he got cracked.
I don't think the call was ever really there for him.
Well, Matt, again, we go back to the hand about
I was like, oh.
an orbit and a half ago when Jake called with king high in a spot where he got triple barreled. So Matt knows Jake is a good thinking player, knows that he could, you know, Matt could be betting to try to get Jake to fold a chop.
Right. Yeah, if it weren't for that little cocktail interaction, he'd still be sitting there like a statue, though. You get nothing out of that guy.
Is this a raise?
He does raise.
Oh, bad timing, Jake.
Yeah.
Believes his opponent is either trying to get him
Straight
off
by
a
it,
chop or
yeah.
bet with a king, I suppose. Trying to get him to fold a better hand or a chop, but it's not going to work here. Matt going to decide, okay, either you have an ace or you have an 8 or you have nothing. Probably just going to call with
Show
the
me.
ace. Yeah.
Yeah.
No reason to raise. King isn't going to call you if you 3-bet the river. An 8 has you beat. And an ace, obviously, chops. So, well played. Jake showing why he's a crusher, not afraid to put chips in when he doesn't, when he thinks he needs to, even
Yeah, I
if it
respect the hell out of
might
that.
make, you know, some people don't make plays when they feel like they might be stupid if they're wrong.
Right.
The best players don't care, even if they're on stream. They
Right.
trust their gut, they go with it. In that case, if his opponent did have a king or any non-paired hand, that would have worked. In this
Yeah.
case, top of range has the ace for the full house.
And the the dividend of players knowing they're on notice that he's gonna raise you. Don't just play those little loose, plays at him. He's gonna take it up.
Oh, Russia, wake up. Max has pocket kings from under the gun and raises to 13,000.
People are clearing out here. Over to John. He's not going to enjoy the computer too much.
This might just get folds all around.
Yeah. Under the gun, it looks like what it is, really.
Oh, look at this. Okay, so what's
Wow.
happening here is Matt is one of the biggest stacks at the table. Max is one of the bigger stacks at the table. Matt must believe that he has an edge against Max because otherwise he wouldn't continue with his hand. So he's trying to win a big pot against somebody he thinks he can win a big pot off of. Willing to risk the 15K or the 13K for that proposal.
Bet 16,000.
Yeah, he got away from it.
Bet beat Bryce, sure. In this case, it was so. You might be right. These players have been playing with each other for over 5 hours. We've only seen an hour and some change of that, so maybe he had reason to believe otherwise, but yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, no, when you get into that second and third sigma
Yeah.
of he's thinking this and I'm thinking
Right.
that, you know, it's easy to get wrong real quick. I like the play, though. I think it's ballsy. I like it.
He does. Bryce makes a good point. I don't think he has that many floats in the big blind on that flop that would lead the river for half pot that isn't an ace. So perhaps that's true for some reason. He disagreed with you, but I think you're right.
Raise
A lot of
14,000.
aces there.
Google Translate up to its bang-up job self. From what we see,
Oh, 14,000.
Giallorossi, you just said, what was
Hen
it?
no grain.
Hen no grain.
I think that's probably a phrase. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that had something good, but nothing to feed it. So
I
like he had
see.
the kings, was looking to get fed,
I
and
see.
nobody had grain to give the hen.
That sounds about right.
I like it.
I do too.
You know, when you have phrases in different countries, like we
Yeah,
say it's raining cats and
colloquialisms.
dogs.
Sure.
When you say that to other people, they're like, what in the world are you talking about? What a gruesome thing to say.
Throwing their cats and dogs
Yeah.
out of the window.
So idioms don't translate very well. Hen no grain. I'm going to start saying that, and only Russians will get it.
That's 18,000.
Or hen by grain. I don't know.
Hen by grain. Oh.
Can perhaps my guess means
Maybe.
nothing now. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Away we go. Okay. We're just translating a little bit of the tweets, chat posts. We don't immediately understand.
Which of the Russian? That is all of them. So cool to have an international audience, though. This game, one of the reasons why we have such, poker is where it is because of the reach of the internet over the last 30 years or so, especially in the last 20 since Moneymaker won in 2003. We're sitting here in South Florida. You're in Russia. You're in the UK. You're all over the States. What a cool ability to share one table, these 9 guys playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we all can watch. Very cool.
And pay attention because they're very, very good poker players. This isn't the Friday Weekly Tournament. We love those guys. They're very good in their own right. These guys are playing on a very high skill level.
Man, a lot of these gentlemen travel all over the country and the world, able to support all the expenses that come with it from their tournament poker winnings. So, yeah, they're good. Haven't seen much from John Party. It's been fairly card dead.
Very card dead. Yeah.
Always annoying when you're on a feature table, know some of your friends and fans are watching,
Wanna
and
get in
just
there, yeah.
can't find anything to work with. Look at this, 9 deuce, that's my point.
Yeah.
He's going to be frustrated, but it's a long night, John.
Safely out of the way for now.
6,000.
We have 2 Josephs that I don't know on the list. One of them is Joseph Crowley
Raised
from
12,000.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with 638,000.
Shout out to the, what do they call them in Pittsburgh? The Yins?
Yins. Shout out to Yins.
Shout out to the Yins.
No, it's like y'all, but for
No, there's
the
some
mountain people.
That's not what I'm thinking of then. Shout out to Yins.
Shout out to Yins. There's also Joseph Romeo. I don't know that. He's West Palm Beach. 36,000 lifetime winnings.
Okay, look at him going for his biggest score in this tournament.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out which one it is. I don't recognize the guy, but he could come in at night, you know. Tens with a big chunk of the flop. Max on the button.
That's 13,000.
The bet comes in from Carlin for 13,000 with pocket fours. Max at a playtime now. That's why I don't recognize his face. That's not him. This is that's Joseph in C2.
Okay,
So,
yeah, so
I guess it's
C2
Joseph Romeo from West Palm Beach.
going to be the local.
There you go. Sorry, Joe, I didn't recognize you.
35, 36K in earnings. Took his shot at the $2,500 buy-in, and up top, 132,000 for first place, right?
Pretty decent, yeah.
That'll be a nice payday for whoever goes home with it. Not only that, you get Moneymaker trophy, you get faded spade cards, you get a signed autographed painting from. Well, the painting isn't for Moneymaker.
I was going
but
to ask
Moneymaker
if
signed
he
it.
painted it.
No.
That would have been impressive. I like, well, Bush, you know, W went
True.
to painting after he.
True. Comparing Moneymaker to George W.
I'm just thinking of what a Southern man might do with his
His
free time, you know. Play poker, obviously. I don't know if that's free time. I
Not
think
for these.
It's work time.
I believe I just heard our tournament director say we're having a 60-minute dinner break tonight.
Very good.
Not the
Okay.
75 that we've been having on day one, so slightly shorter.
That sounds awesome. So you guys, just so you know, we will cut during that break. We will play you some to, you know, kind of see how many of you want to stick around. And then maybe we'll start off with a few videos and lead into the main event. But if you want to know when we're going back live, click that like button. Subscribe, follow us on Twitch, however you're getting us. Get on the email list for us, and when we go live, they will notify you. Turn the notify bell on YouTube. If you follow, you usually get an email on Twitch.
Yeah, so plan is, I believe we started at 4:45 when players came back from break, which means we'll be here for 2 hours until 6:45. Then we'll take a dinner break, 60 minutes in length, come back and play 4 more levels this evening on a new stream. So hang with us. We got day 2 poker all evening long, and likely going to be reaching the money prior to the end of the day. So perhaps the bubble will burst right here on stream. We'll see.
We got our own.
134,000.
134.
Okay. First place pays $134,265. Thanks to some very well put together graphics by our man Josh here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Strong hands. Oh no, if you're a John Party fan, he tries to get involved with the ace-jack suited from under the gun. Albert finds queens in the small blind. Both of them of the shorter stacks, less than 20 bigs for each of them. We have gone up to the next level, 4,000, 8,000, 8,000. Albert does put it in from the small blind. John needs a count. Understandable,
Yes, very
less than
frustrated, I
20
can see.
bigs.
And you don't want to be pushing all your chips in with ace-jack. It's the best ace-jack because it's suited.
Yeah, at this level, if John had raised from a later position, he might be more tempted to call because Albert's squeeze doesn't mean as much from the small blind. But given the fact that John opened from under the gun and still Albert chooses to put in his short stack, that he's telling John, like, I have a good hand. He doesn't have to have a hand this strong. A lot of players will find moves like this with the ace-5 suiteds, the ace-4 suiteds of the world, but he does make the call. That's a respect call. It shows your opponent respect when you put it in with ace-jack there, knowing they can do that with a weaker hand. Searches for aces or clubs, we'll see. Not there on the flop. John drawing 2 outs. Oh, another out, but the queen of spades working. And John Party loses almost all of his chips.
They're going to recount. See, we have the ability to change the stack of the player when we find out the accurate count. So that may change. I'm not sure if that's...
Even if it's not exactly accurate, it certainly is the large majority of John's chips as he's left with crumbs.
75, 100, 120, 137.
Tough luck there, John. You finally found a playable hand. Not afraid to get it in there. Trust your gut. In this case, the pocket queens were not what you wanted to see, and you couldn't get there. You know, 30% of the time he wins that hand.
Right. Yeah.
Not this time, though, and
Tough.
he's got a long road ahead if he wants to make it to the money now.
Just to clarify, I didn't mean that he should not have called there. I'm saying no matter if he knows he has to call there, you just don't really want to.
Yeah, true. Yeah, good point.
You know?
Yeah, it's never fun to put in all the chips with a hand that you're not sure if it's the best hand.
Right.
Danko Bravo says, let's go, Max, make Ruzevka great again. He's trying. Pop star to a poker star.
You know, the guy might be president by the end of the week.
Shout out to the chat. We've got just blowing up messages on messages. Love to see it. Makes our job more fun.
It really does, you guys. We appreciate it. That's you know, an additional thing to talk about. They're giving us plenty to talk about here.
And quickly, John moves in from the big blind with the 8-4 offsuit, so he was indeed very, very short.
Yeah.
Trying to find a triple against 2 aces. Looking for 4s and 8s. Not that.
Wow.
Drawing almost dead.
He's got...
Yeah,
now it is.
Now completely so.
Well, thank you for playing with us, John.
That's 15,000.
We might get him on the mic. I don't know. We had talked about getting him on the mic. I don't know if he's going to play in other events.
Probably will be disheartened. Might need to take a breather, get some fresh air.
Sure.
But yeah,
I'm
of
going to bring
course.
him right over.
John Party more than welcome to come into the booth. If I have anything to say about it, which I don't.
Sure you do.
Jake fills up. Art makes trips. Bad news for not only John, but also Art now. We'll see if he loses even more. You're betting into a dry side pot, which means that John's already all in, and you're still betting to try to get more from your opponent. It looks very strong. And that's what Jake will do here.
62,000.
62.
It's going to be tough for Art to fold. There is a flush draw on the board. But far less likely that you're getting bluffed when John is already all in.
Yeah, Art, I feel you, buddy. It's a huge laydown.
Good fold.
But that's a great fold.
You see both hands for the main pot.
Yeah, yeah.
Good game. John, glad you were here with us. Sorry you couldn't go home with some cash.
Right, you're gonna have dead small. Big blind face.
Out of this one. We'll see. We still got another big one coming.
So frustrating. Be on the feature table. You know your friends are watching. You just are card dead all day.
Yeah.
The one spot you take, you're way behind. Not how anyone wants to go, but John can hold his head up high. Very popular player. Plays on ACR all the time. I'm sure he'll be in the action of the WSOP this summer. So glad you were able to join us at the Palm Beach Kennel Club, Mr. Party.
Absolutely.
just I've played with him a couple times too on the felt. Just a pleasure to be around. Always laughing, joking, jovial, in a great mood. Makes it a pleasant experience for everyone at the table. So good man for the community. Thanks for being here.
Call 16.
Okay, Max with the pocket fours.
These
Russia
two,
roots for a sailboat.
Heads up.
These two are bound to butt heads for the whole stream.
You're sitting next to somebody for hours on end at a tournament. Oftentimes it's the guy right next to you that you mix it up with a lot. So you learn their play well. Always nice to be in position in those relationships. Maxie's a good flop for his pocket fours and for, you know, more often than not, his opponent under the gun is going to have big cards. So when 4 cards 8 or under come out, you'll see a check fold from Carlin. Look at that stack in the 16. Isn't that nice? Piles on piles. I'm assuming they're stacks of 40. That's one way to stack them. I don't hate it. It looks good.
Tower of power.
There's a rule in the TDA, that's the Tournament Directors Association, shout out Matt Savage, where you don't have to stack your chips in 20s, so that's the standard, but they should be easily countable.
Right. Some sort of stand.
Yep. And those do look to be stacks of 40.
If you can help us out, when you guys fold the cards, just make sure if you can try not to go over these, because then they read the cards as you're folding them over the readers.
That's why you see it jumping.
Exactly, yeah. So if you can just avoid these, would be awesome.
Thank
for us.
you.
Thank you.
Look at this, our dealer keeping things in line.
Playing catch, but
Curious to
Diana,
know.
she does a great job.
Yeah, once a card reads in a player spot,
It won't, yeah.
but if perhaps their card didn't read for some reason in their spot and then it crosses the middle, then it will pick it up. So
that is the concern.
18,000.
well done, articulately and confidently said. Hopefully the players will cooperate with her and our production staff, putting on this show for all of us to enjoy.
I think so. They look like they're all having fun.
Blind versus blind. Matt opens up to 18K from the small blind with his big stack. Carlin, though, has a monster.
Wow.
Ace King offsuit.
Re-raise, 58,000.
Price is going up to 58.
Just happen to have the one hand that I chopped with.
And I'm betting you, Carlin, facing a big stack and an aggressive player on the right, loves this spot. Of course, Ace King, you know, if you get it all in, you're often racing.
Right.
But he would have been happy to take that spot should he have faced a 4-bet. 2 big winners at the table in the last 2 hours. Matt and Max racking up the chips. Everyone else either has been eliminated or just kind of Jake, though.
He's taking a big hit or two, and you know, you can't tell by looking at his stack. He had a stack.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be fine.
Joseph here from early position. In a weird spot where you have too many chips to jam. You don't really want to fold a hand as strong as pocket 7s, but things could get dicey if you choose to get in the mix. He does.
3.1.
Notice chooses to raise big. Goes to 25K. Makes his life a little easier. We'll get a lot more folds.
Yeah, I think he got done what he wanted to accomplish on that one.
Rosso says Russians never give up, guys. Only Max, only victory. It does feel like the entirety of Russia is behind Max.
Or at
Every
least
other comment we
one
get.
person, anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
There are several.
Double
There are
boy
several.
in the house.
Yeah, we hope you're all watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, get everybody, shake somebody who's not watching and tell them to put it on their phone too. I got them to put it on at the bar. I tricked them into putting it on at the bar the other night. Yeah.
Let's go. Matt opens up the 7-6 suited, putting that big stack to work. This one's going to get through the cutoff, and he'll take down the pot. So, yesterday, you said, Josh, that you're a disc golfer.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. How long you been playing?
About 5 years,
Very
5, 6
nice.
years, yeah.
Okay. How many aces?
One.
You got one ace in
Yeah,
the bag. Excellent.
just
Good
one.
for you. Signed the
Close
disc and
on a few.
everything?
No,
No?
I let it go. I was playing red tees.
Okay.
It did go over water,
That's,
and it was a straight line shot, right in, a beautiful shot.
yeah, nothing feels better.
But I just thought, I'm going to act like I've been there before. This is going to happen a lot to me, I haven't thrown one since.
They will come, I'm sure. You're
you go.
more of a backhand or a forehand player?
A little bit of both. I started out mostly backhand. I had no idea if I had started forehand, then I would have, it would have been an easier game.
Okay. Yeah,
Because I didn't know how easy it was to throw distance forehand.
Mike G asked how many left in the tournament. Last number we had was 39. I believe that's Party has been eliminated since then. So
38.
38 it is.
Yeah.
38 players remain fighting for $134,000 for first place. 33 get paid. So we have not yet reached the money yet. 6 more eliminations will get us there. Might have a 5-way pot here. Jake opens up the queen-jack offsuit from early position, picks up calls, 4 ways. Joseph chooses to release, so. Calls from Matt, Carlin, and Art. Carlin with the best hand, 2 snowman, but equity is fairly even between the 4 players. Carlin flops an overpair with his 2-8s. Doesn't happen very often, always welcome when it does, but he is not the aggressor pre-flop, that's Jake, but into this many players, I don't know if we're going to see a continuation bet from Jake. We'll see. Chooses to check, can't blame him. Not great for your range as the pre-flop raiser, and you've got 3 opponents. Now Carlin, when you just call pre-flop, you flop an overpair and it checks to you. It's time to bet. Protect from some equity, clear out the riffraff. Oh my.
How about all in?
Art has top pair. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Thinks now's the time. Can Carlin find the call against the big blind?
179,000.
Is that tilty?
Sure. 25.
We'll put Carlin in the blender. Art probably thinks that Carlin doesn't have many overpairs here because he just called pre-flop. Art flopped a pair. It's hard to make a pair. Maybe he's hoping to be up against a flush draw. But we know he's not. If Carlin can find the call, Art will be at risk of elimination.
It's been 75 minutes.
It was.
I think they might have cut it down.
I think you need to put in the call in a situation like this. Big blind can have flush draws, can have straight draws, can have a 7 thinking it's good. You also have the 8 of hearts working in your hand in case you're wrong. A little extra backdoor flush equity. Even if you lose this pot, you still have 30 plus big blinds as you work your way to the money. You don't love doubling up the short stack as you get close to the money. Somebody that you need to be eliminated for you to get there.
Right.
When you flop an overpair, maybe underrepresented the strength of your hand, and draws are available. Usually that leads to putting in the chips.